All right, boys. So we're finally reacting to Rax's video day. I think it's going to be about a bunch of Endgame talks. Um, I've really haven't had. We're uploading so much more. There's not as much progression, kind of like in between videos. I mean, we're sitting at now. This I think sits at 40K, just about on here. I mean, we need POB to be honest to like really sit here and deep dive into like what's going on. I wanted to get this around 30, but we got that over 40, over 40K with the bow. We spent a bunch of money on basically the bow and the helmet today. But it'll be cool. I don't know. Watching Rax's video, he's the one that kind of like inspired most of my lightning arrow build. Most of the tree is pretty similar to his. I'm taking some like different lightning nodes here. I don't really want to get rid of this jewel, but we'll get into it. We'll see some. He should be talking about endgame stuff. I'm pretty sure like he's literally going into one of his like. Yep, look at that. There it is. He's already got the chart written down in the first like second of it. So this will be good. I'm going to. Yeah, I'll just go over here. I don't want to block his. I don't want to block his ad. He's got over here. Crimson
It's
Market.
Rax. I've been blasting a lot more Path of Exile 2, and particularly I've been playing a lot of Endgame. By the way, I have a new Endgame guide for a build coming for you guys, which is, well, you'll see. You're gonna laugh. It just insta deletes everything.
I think he's talking about his monk build, dude. His monk build's
But
crazy.
today I thought I would make a video talking about Path of Exile 2's Endgame so far. And to be very clear, Grinding Gear Games, as I understood it from listening to their interviews, kind of threw this end game together in the last couple of months so we could get a taste of what they have to come. Remember that it's still early access.
That's what I think so many people forget we're in early access, man. This, like he said, this was literally put together just in a little bit. It's more just to show you like what the concept is of going forward. I love it. So that's why I'm so excited to do a video like this because like it's not like anyone is sitting here super like mad at the game or like oh I feel like chipped out of what I got. Like no, we all love what we have as a base concept. These little feedback videos and whatnot, and they listen. They do certain adjustments. So I don't know. It's really cool to see.
I would say what they have in early access is honestly
Great.
very good so far. It's got really good building blocks. They can fix a lot of the
It's a
problems.
perfect
And
foundation.
the reason why I'm making this video is to talk about some of the pain points to try to make it better and open up conversations. And I'm honestly guessing that a lot of people have already brought some of this stuff already. Maybe this stuff isn't going to be rocket science, but I thought it was important to get it out there to try to make the game as the best that we can for the launch. So these are the topics that I want to cover today, and some of them are very, very highly contested.
This will be interesting. So right off the rip, he's got rarity. I think we've all kind of had the conversation. I've said this in a bunch of videos, man. I think rarity's getting nerfed. I hope it's not anything crazy. I'm not really printing money. Like I'm sitting pretty good. Like the other day, I was sitting on like a div and like 170, 180 exalt. I mean, that goes pretty quick. I know to some casuals that might sound like a lot, but that goes pretty quick. I think rarity gets nerfed though. I've seen a lot of people just grind in. Towers need like a rework. I love the concept of towers, map sustain, and like just area and stuff. People like that's been a very big one. Mechanics are. I would just like to see some more, some like kind of the old ones. I just want delve, dude. I want delve back bad. And ascendancies. A lot of people have been
So
big
let's
on
start with
ascendancy
rarity.
talks.
So I could understand why. I could understand a couple of reasons why grinding gear games would put rarity in the game. And I guess to give you some context before I speak about that, if you have no idea what I'm talking about. In the end game, increased rarity on gear, that stat is unimaginably strong.
The best stat in the
It's
game.
so strong that I think anybody who has gotten a taste of it or messed around with it at all would tell you it's by far the best stat in the game. It's like almost better than movement speed on boots. So everyone really that's trading at all in the game, which softcore trade I think is by far the largest demographic of Path of Exile.
Always.
Everyone's going for rarity on gear. So you can get a godly chess piece, 150 life, triple res, and it's cool. But if it doesn't have rarity, um, if an item doesn't have rarity and it can have rarity, it's pretty bad. So a lot of people are calling for it to be nerfed. A lot of people are calling for it to be removed. So I want to take a step back and ask myself, could I think of a reason why grinding gear games would want rarity in the game, at least on items? And I can actually.
For sure.
It opens up a lot of different play styles where some people want to magic find and some people want to play more cautiously and just get really strong. So that is a reason that I could think of. And another reason that I think probably maybe really excites them, if I had to guess, is if the formula was correct, like it's not correct right now, but let's say it was. Let's say that they nerfed it and they balanced it a little bit more. It gives you a gray line in exactly what is the best gear. Is the best gear just stacking all rarity, or is it these super rare uniques that you only find on the pinnacle bosses? Well, it would kind of get kind of tight.
That's like the huge question, right? Like a lot of like ARPG gamers in general just really like uniques and like rare items, like stuff like that. Which I personally am more of like I'd rather buy a super nice like rare that's crafted like crazy, or do like a craft myself rather than a unique because you can't craft on uniques obviously usually in any ARPGs as you shouldn't normal blah blah blah. But I don't know like I like the way PoE 1 had it where like uniques were just like huge for leveling. Like there was big uniques I used for leveling. I'm just not big on uniques. I know people are though. I could just I don't care.
As into that playstyle thing, depending upon what you're trying to do. If you're trying to pump out currency all the time, it might be the pieces with rarity, and if it isn't, then it's just trying to get as strong as possible. Um, so I could see why that they might want to keep it here. In my opinion, I don't think you can keep it. And the reason why is I think some of the downsides are too strong. And grinding gear games, I think, would have to hit it absolutely perfectly in order to make a large majority of the community happy, which I don't think is going to happen. If rarity is too strong, as we talked about, it just invalidates a ton of the gear. Like I have a really, really powerful monk right now, and I got a couple of pieces that are just beautiful, but they don't have rarity on them. And I'm constantly running through. I get an exalt here every few hours. I might find a divine. I'm just thinking, man, if I just had more rarity, I would get way more divines, and I'm not dying. So I might as well go trade my godly boots for something else. On one hand, it's cool that you're interacting with it, but the downside of it, I feel, is um, way too severe. And another thing, without like perfectly hitting the formula, is it really isn't a choice. It's really you play with a lot of rarity, or you probably just don't know how strong it really is. It really isn't
That's
much of a
fair. I mean,
choice
that's
once you gain the knowledge. It's kind of like ignorance is bliss. So I wouldn't mind sources of rarity, maybe if they didn't come on gear. Maybe if it was like a reward for as you progress, like as you progress through the pinnacle boss system. Oh, you reach this thing, we're going to give you 30 rarity as a reward, or something like that. It's totally fine. I don't think rarity needs to necessarily be completely deleted out of the game,
no, no,
but
yeah, I
as
agree on
a
that.
stat on gear with the formula that it has, there's no way it could stay. I would say at a minimum, it needs a nerf. I think the better solution is to remove it entirely from gear. All right. Well, the end game, most of the end game is the maps or the waystones. So let's talk about those. So first of all, not all the maps are equal. There's maps like Augury and some of the
Oh my god, I think we can all agree. It doesn't matter what like class, play style, blah blah blah. Like the outdoor maps are just so much better than the indoor ones. For the most part, like there's a couple indoor bangers, but like the outdoor maps are just like they're beautifully designed. They look so good. Obviously, every map needs like a bit of a downsize, so we're not like backtracking and going through as many areas as much. But oh, they're so good, beautiful.
Val maps that have mechanics in them that are just they're terrible in every way.
The lever, bro.
They're terrible in how long
I
they
hope he
take.
talks about the
They're
lever.
terrible in that during the animation you can be hit by them.
I don't even mind that, bro. What I really can't mind is when I'm sitting there pulling the lever, and then all of a sudden I like start getting hit by something. I like can't hop out of the lever. I've never taken a death to it, but it's still really annoying.
They're terrible in how they disrupt the flow of PoE2 is
I could see
already
that though. I
one
do
of the
agree with the flow
slower
thing.
ARPGs, which I'm fine with. It's fine. If I want to go Zoom, we can play Torchlight. Torchlight and PoE1, I think, are the zoomiest ARPGs. We want to fly,
Torchlight
we can go in
good.
there. Want something in the middle, we can play Last
Comment if
Epoch or
you like
Diablo
Torchlight.
4.
I need to know.
If
I
we want the
downloaded it
slower one,
once.
we go PoE2. But since it's already a slower pace when I'm in Augury, then they're pulling the lever down, I think you have to abandon that stuff entirely.
I'm down
And
with it.
another thing about the maps, which is going to
See, here's my thing. Like, I wouldn't like you can just abandon that and like replace, dude. Like, just imagine that's where I'm getting sulfur for delving instead of the mechanics for the map. Oh, it'd be so perfect.
correlate to the pinnacle bosses is
I'm
I
reaching
had
for
this
delve. I
initial
know.
feedback and I didn't want to double down on this until I had played more, but now this is me doubling down on it. I don't think that there's enough cool things or surprises happening in the game. And I've probably cleared, this is a guess, I don't have a counter. I would say I've cleared 200 T15 maps. I have 4 level 90 plus characters. I've even cleared, let's say, 8 T18 maps. The irradiated, the corrupted T16 maps. I've even done several of those. In that time, I have only found one citadel.
Oh
And
no,
I'm
here
not
it comes
pathing
again.
randomly. Follow the water, follow the towers, follow the corruption, path in a straight line, da 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 da. I've been following all those strategies. I was talking about today on my stream, there were people that said they're level 94, level 95, never seen a citadel. And I've seen, I think, one nameless seer and 2 unique maps. And so,
Wait,
because the
unique maps are in the game? That's crazy.
game already feels slower, I feel like they really, really need to spice up a lot of this pathing and make it a lot more, I guess the best word I can come up with is fun or diversified.
You know, yeah, I've never really thought about that. Like, if we look at my thing here, like I'm in the same boat. I have yet to see a citadel, and I mean, I didn't just get the quest like the other day. I mean, I've definitely had it for probably like a weekish at this point, and like, yeah, I mean, I've gone kind of like every single way. I haven't really sat here and like tried the strats yet because I am really just one of those people who will just map and map and map, and I really don't care. But like, the point is though that if I've cleared this much of the map, and like I still haven't seen one yet. Like I got pretty decently out here. Like yeah, I am with that. Like we do need to see it. We do need a little bit of like we need some spice in here. I do agree.
Would be something that I would point to maps. For me, by far, the biggest problem with maps
One
is
portal.
how you complete them.
Uh-oh.
The way that you usually complete a map for most of them
So
is
before he even says it, I like the concept, right, that we have of like killing all the rares and not necessarily having everyone having a boss. That way, when you get to a boss, it feels like really special, and I don't know, it feels more rewarding when you get drops. Like I do like that, but like it is very annoying when it's like you've cleared 99% of the map over here, and then like you take out six rares, and there's still just one more down in that last little corner, and you have to go back. I do feel that.
you have to kill all the elites and a boss if there is a boss. I love the elites and I love the bosses. That's not my problem.
No,
My problem is after you get below the threshold, I think it's 200 monsters, there's an elite 500 miles behind you that you
right?
have to go
Yep.
kill
Oh,
if you missed it.
just have them
And it
spawn somewhere
happens
else.
all the time and it feels so bad. A lot of people have suggested a lot of ways to fix it. Honestly, I'm okay with any of them. I'm okay with them even implementing solutions that we haven't heard. Some people say just go back to the boss thing. I'd be fine with that. The bosses are nice in PoE too because they drop such good loot. Even if you don't like killing bosses, at least they drop really good loot.
The loot is worth it.
Maybe
And
even
this
they
might
could
just be
keep the
like this might just be a me thing, but I guess the way that they did it was a little bit different. Like I don't know. Yeah, bosses feel really good in PoE too. PoE 1 didn't have bad bosses or anything like that by any means, but they feel good. They feel fun to do. Like he said, the loot explosion's crazy. Usually for the most part, I would be down for like having to hit a boss and stuff every map. I wouldn't hate it.
kill every elite thing. I'm not even saying that you have to change maybe the objective, but the way that we complete the objective, where the elites spawn on the map, when they show up, and the backtracking. I think this is a must change in whatever way that Grinding Gears sees fit.
Yeah, 100%.
One more comment about the maps and
That's not something that like I'm even remotely worried about. Like I think maps are going to be like so much more like flawlessly run in like 2 months at
the
most.
citadels. I've only found one citadel ever. I don't know if they're placeholders or not, but I was very underwhelmed by the Citadel. And I don't mean to spoil it for anybody in chat. I mean, you can mute the video for the next 30 seconds if you want.
Oh
But
no.
the Citadel was just, it was just kind of like a regular map with an act boss. It was just, I thought it was going to be something epic. I've been searching for 2 weeks for this big Citadel,
Right. Yeah,
and
that's
this is
fair.
1/3 of the way to opening that thing right by where I start, and it was just a map with a boss. I think those could be way cooler and would add a lot for a lot of the more casual players who a lot of the casuals right now, you're never going to reach a Citadel unless you spawn right by it. You get really lucky. Most of them won't even
Oh,
make it out of the
100%.
campaign.
No
But when
way.
they finally do get to do a Citadel, it would be cool if that was a very memorable moment. It was not memorable at all, super forgettable. Now that I've played more, I
Good to
think
know I'm not missing out.
towers don't work at all. I think everything about towers has
You know what's crazy? If you go back and like watch my the first long form PoE video reacting this is, I didn't even hate towers that much. Like I was kind of like, yeah, like I like the idea that he had of doing it. And then we ended the other video. We talked about a little bit of like, oh, what could we do? I like just more and more as I'm sinking more time into it, and I don't know. I'm probably coming up on 200 hours. Like yeah, I'm starting to not like them. Like I'm really starting to not like them. But I want them. Like I like the concept of them. They need something.
got to change.
I'm curious to see
Um,
what he's got for it.
it's like everything, and people are calling for towers to be removed. I don't know if you need to remove them.
Everybody just wants everything removed. Remove this, remove that. No, no, no. Like let's just rework. Like they have said this is early access. This is just to lay the foundation. Like you got to imagine like how could we look at this and improve it rather than just remove, because the more you just start to remove, the more like you just want PoE1 back, and there's no need. Like if they shut down PoE1, I would totally understand, but fellas, like PoE1 is still going to be here. I'm pretty sure like sources told me April for a new league in PoE1. Like it's the game ain't going anywhere.
The idea, the concept of it is cool, where you have a special map, it gives you a lot of vision, which synergizes with finding more of the surprises that I hope they put into the game. And it helps you find the citadels. That's cool. I'm cool with the basic idea of it, but everything about a tower does not work. So the layout of it, the tiny little hallways into the rooms that you can't really see very well, that kind of a map that we're forced to play all the time. Another thing is these towers are essentially mandatory.
Right.
These kind of map layouts are so bad for so many builds. I'm not saying you have to make everyone a giant open field, but they can't all be the same. And these tiny little compartmentalized hallways into these almost hidden rooms with the roofs over them where you can't even see, and you're just kind of walking in and hoping that it's not a death trap. That doesn't work at all. The second floor of the tower doesn't work for me in any way. The same thing as Augury. You walk through the step, you walk
Oh
around
my
the
god,
thing.
the whole getting to the top of the tower, like that is just like that's fumed me, bro. And this is coming from a ranger who's sitting on the right now, like just base before I need buffs. Like I'm sitting on 37% movement speed, and I hate that shit. I hate the walk, bro.
You walk over a bridge, you pull the thing, and it's
Unnecessary.
over. That is cool like one time. This is a mandatory thing that you have to do a million times in the end game. It really can't be like that.
I don't think that they genuinely thought, or if they did, they just said, fuck it and you live with it because it's only a couple weeks. But I don't think they thought that like as many people would be getting as far into like towers and Endgame like before the not the new year, but like you know what I mean when they come back. Because like I think GGG looks at that and clearly knows that it's not enough, right? Because I think they're just gonna come back and like dump shit into it. And I can't wait for it.
The second floor has to have something like a reward, a chest. I wish the hallway was shorter. I wish the second floor was gone entirely, or you just you activate the thing on the first floor. A million different ways to fix it. But we have to do something. I never see mechanics or surprises in the towers. It's always the same thing. And so, do you want to know what I do with the towers? Like, this is just what I do. I'm guessing other people, the more they do them, they probably gravitate towards something like this. I just throw in like a white T1 map. I'm decimating T15s easily. But when I see a tower, I just plug a white map and I run in a straight line, just run to the second floor and turn it on. Because there's no point to kill anything. You don't get any XP. There's no mechanics. There's nothing to find. There's no chest. There's nothing. It feels 100% like a chore and like there's nothing.
Well, no, it's crazy though. I found my first divine in a tower. I found my first div in this game in a tower in PoE 2. It's just wild. I found like good chests and stuff. Like I wouldn't go as far as to say like I've never gotten anything good from towers, but yeah, it's just more like you know you're only there to press that one button. So like you're just looking for the taller stairs.
Fun about it. I would actually think I would prefer if you would keep the towers. I like the functionality of them, but
Oh,
I
absolutely.
want to be excited when I finally got to a tower. Hell yeah. Instead of, well, I'm at the tower and I need to do it, but man, the next 60 seconds of my life are going to be miserable.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. So
and
true.
it has to be valuable to plug your T15 keys in these towers, I feel. The strategy shouldn't be throw in a shitty unjuiced level 1 map.
I agree.
I talking about some of the mechanics here. So I already talked about the citadels a little bit with the maps. I was pretty underwhelmed by the citadels in terms of I've only found one of them, and it was just a map and a boss. Very disappointing to me.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I find Expedition, Reach, and Delirium as someone who's kind of like, I don't know where I wouldn't know where I would land in the end game thing of clearing 200 T15s and 8 T18s or whatever. I haven't even gotten a chance to get the 3 citadels yet, but maybe at the beginning or the middle of the end game. But I find strong boxes and
Horrible.
ritual
Trash.
to be like
Trash as well.
Extremely worthless.
Garbage.
I don't even engage with the strong boxes anymore.
Nope.
The rewards
I don't do rituals either.
From what I've seen, the worst in the game. Maybe it's good if you like really juice it or have a strategy, but just running in, interacting with the strong box, huge waste of time for me. And I hate the way that it approaches the mechanic compared to PoE 1.
Oh god,
I think
yeah.
PoE 1 was better in that it was faster. I'm waiting around all the time. When you have a strong box in a map that has like compartmentalized rooms, they spawn the monsters over the wall in the other room. You got to walk around. You're wondering where the monsters even are. This is not a fun mechanic at all.
No, they need to just
Strong
pop out like
boxes
they
for
did
me
before.
a big thumbs down with the current tuning of them and how they function. I've never gotten anything valuable from Ritual. People say, oh, you can get a key to fight King of the Mist. I believe you. Never seen one. Never gotten a divine or anything like that. Nothing. I've done it a lot. Every time I've submitted my maps, done every single one.
Oh, good for you, dude. I don't even do them anymore.
That has been really good. Never
Genuinely.
got a bow with an arrow or good fizz damage. Never got a staff. Never got a wand. I never got anything. So I feel like these two mechanics in general,
I think he's got some real personal beef with Ritual.
Reach and Expedition, and Delirium. I feel like I'm getting something when I do those, at least.
Yeah, Delirium and Breach for me, for sure.
And finally, the ascendancies. I brought this up in like my general feedback video, but since we're talking about the end game, I've completed the 4th ascendancy multiple times now, and I think a lot of things are just still a little bit miscalculated. So the major and minor boons in the trial of the Sekimas, I call it trial of suck my ass, but in the trial of Sekimas, I got a major boon. I believe it was every room completed, you get 40 honor. That is beyond worthless to me when I have 12,000 honor going through the thing.
Right. Just make it like 10% or something.
Another
15.
thing, I believe a minor affliction is you have no energy shield, or you have no evasion, or you have no armor.
That's fucked up.
This is some of the most devastating
That's
things
crazy.
you possibly
Lose
have.
percentages, but
this actually happened to me. I plugged my 4th ascendancy, and I feel like maybe I'm not the world's greatest player of making decisions, but I'm not the worst either. Like I can, now that I've done it a few times, now I can actually see and make some good decisions. So I was in the very first level of the trial, and I had a couple of rooms, a couple of decisions going forward, and I went forward, and every single one of them eventually forced me into going into a room where the penalty was no energy shield, and I was playing chaos inoculation, which means you have 1 life and all energy shield essentially. So I actually had to start the run over on the very first floor. And I didn't even
At least you didn't get
pigeonhole
far.
myself into going down the bottom lane. I was kind of going in the middle, and it just converged into one room with no energy shield. It's things like that. Grinding Gear Games said that they made changes to melee and ranged and the honor. One of those big like golem guys hit my monk in one hit for about 5,000 honor. This is a trash mob.
That's
I had
crazy.
some boons that made it worse on me. I'm sure I was in the 4th level, so I have some terrible boons that make it worse.
Yeah,
But he hit me for
that's fair.
5,000 honor.
I mean, that's one
in
tap
one
in
hit.
most people.
It actually made me lose the run.
Yep, there it is. That's why he's pissed.
I appreciate the work that they've done so far. The work that they did make it better.
Oh, 100%.
But I guess my general question for ascendancies, by the way, that 5,000 hit, I had max honor resist. I have really, really good, what are they called? Relics. I have really
That's
good
crazy
relics.
work too.
Super high honor, super high resist. I think capped resist, right? Is it capped at 75 or whatever? I was pretty juiced up there.
Damn. So imagine if he didn't even have that.
For me about the
or just a little less.
And this is really only a question. It would be like a really good interview question if they ever want to chat. I'd love to talk to you guys. How hard should these be? And is like the 4th ascendancy, is that a real end game thing? In general, what we don't want is we don't want Grinding Gear Games to just give us everything for free. We don't want the game to be super easy. It's fun to have a challenge and overcome it. You got no argument from me. I love that.
Yeah,
I'm looking
100%.
forward to it. I beat the 4th trial on every character that I've
tried. Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I got a carry.
Fails, but
I didn't care.
I can get it done. I'm not worried about it. But
I almost actually did it by myself.
Hardly any casual players will ever get their 4th ascendancy.
No way.
With the current state of the game.
No way.
The question is that intended?
Right.
And I guess it's
because I could be wrong here. Hot take, maybe not. I mean, if you play PoE 1, let me know what you think. Like, I feel like Uber Lab, your 4th lab in PoE 1 felt like an Uber, like it felt tough. Like I attempted it like once or twice on other characters, and like that definitely felt like that was meant to be a deep end game. Like, you were not just getting handed out your other ascendancy point only for you. Yeah, so I mean, if PoE, like, if most people say that they didn't feel that way, then I don't know. I think you kind of, I guess you have to make it a little bit easier in that case then, because you're trying to sit here and appeal more to the casuals. But I don't think they have to crank it back too much. Like, from when I was doing it, and I was on like the 8th or 8th, 9th, like it was doable, for sure. So the PoE one, it was easier, just annoying as fuck. Yeah, I mean, I did the fucking 3rd ones, and with all the traps and stuff, I can't imagine. I wouldn't want to do a 4th.
Up to them. Like, where do they think that it should fall in?
Tedious.
If they want a certain percentage of the population to be able to complete their 4th ascendancy, you're gonna have to ease up on the gas in some ways.
Right. A little bit.
I have only tried I actually haven't tried the T4 ultimatum, the hardest one. I've done the T3 one. But people say that one's even harder, so I need to try that one as well. I should have probably tried it before making this video. I could have given some feedback, but oh well. Yeah, so that's about all I want to say on the end game. These are kind of the major things that I'm seeing after playing it for, well, I guess it's the 28th. When did it come out? Like the 5th or the 6th or something? I guess it's been 3 weeks. I'm really enjoying it. I think they've done a very good job, but I would love to see, if not patch notes, I would love to see a post from them about these topics very soon. Or, one more time, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Grinding Gear Games, if you want to talk to me about it.
Oh, Aries, gotta shoot the shot.
Conversation with you and just get your thoughts on the state of these things. Are you guys playing the game too? Are you guys experiencing these same?
100%. Yeah, I am curious to see what their take is on it
from here. Anyway, guys, just trying to start a conversation.
I do not doubt that somebody from GGG, I don't know if it'll be Jonathan or whoever, but I do not doubt that devs are going to come back, and after like maybe a week of like, you know, having to grind work, we'll see them start to hop back on some streamer setups and stuff like that. I mean, we saw Jonathan like make his rounds before early access came out. So I think we'll see a lot more of that. I think we'll be able to like pick the dev's brain a little bit as far as like creators, and they'll be able to kind of see what's going on. But I mean, yeah, I agree with pretty much everything that was in here. Maybe there, could be a little more things. As far as me, like the mechanics, like I really just hope we start to see more, honestly. Like I want to see more of the other ones back, and I know with the way what they've kind of done with Delirium, it makes Blight tough, but like, oof, Delve would be nice. We need something else to do outside of just like the maps for sure.